non-boaters, they're looking for a possible $40,000 first prize today. One of those non-boaters is youngster Brandon Cook.
Well, I'm 17 years old, and I go to Freeman High School, and I'm in 11th grade going in to be a senior.
Do these fishermen have the jitters? They should have the jitters. We're talking about $1 million purse, and young Brandon there needed a note from our tournament director just to get out of school.
It's not a real big school. There's only about 600 and so people go to the school, and I think there's 45 people in my class.
Brandon's pro partner, famous angler Dion Hibden, who seeks some last-minute advice here from his equally famous dad, Guido Hibden.
And I'm really proud that I can be here and do this stuff. I mean, I'm amazed how good I done yesterday. I mean, I feel real good about myself.
Well, we're proud of anyone and everyone who has made it through those qualifying days and is still standing. The Minnetonka has been a challenge for these anglers, and the best of the best on the pro side, they'll walk away with $200,000. And again today, the non-boater has a shot at the largest prize ever in his division, 40 grand.
I mean, I've always went with all them people around my house, and I've got to where I can beat them, and they've been fishing for a lot of years, and I thought, well, if I can beat them, I think that I can do a little bit better. So I come on the FLW tour, and I've done real good. I've done really good.
Well, as we look over Brandon's competition, and that includes last year's champion Todd Lee, let me boast about Minnetonka being one of America's most beautiful lakes. Located, of course, just outside of Minneapolis, it is loaded with fish, although this week it's keeping our anglers scrambling a little bit.
Ain't nothing to be nervous about right now.
Ask me at the end of the day, and then I'll tell you.
About 2:30 is when we'll be nervous.
But when we started, every top pro bass fisherman was here, and this is the list of who is left, and it is a pretty impressive list of names. This is a tournament, though, that everyone has been laying and waiting for. Big place, the Mall of America, and a big event like this, you know, Jerry McInnes is not going to miss it. Great to have you with us, Jerry. And, you know, we talk about the biggest tournament ever, $1 million purse. But now, with this event, tournament fishing moves into the big time in the entire world of sports.
You know, I don't think fishing competition will ever be the same after this particular event. But obviously because of the $1 million purse. And have a great field. We've finally narrowed it down to 10 non-boaters and 10 pros. And those pros are, as always, coming from all over the country, but there's 3 from Minnesota that have made the top 10. Who
call Minnetonka their home lake, and they're going to try to defend their turf against those boys from Missouri and Florida and Arkansas. But there are lots of different ways to catch fish on this fishery,
That's a neat thing about this tournament. You know, I'm guessing that there's going to be 4 patterns possibly, and all 4 of them, any one of the 4 of them could win the tournament. And, you know, what a great lake. But no big fish, and it doesn't sound right, but I think that's going to make it a great tournament. You're not going to see a 6 or 7 pound bass, so someone isn't going to blow the field away with 2 7-pounders. You know, if you get behind, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah.
But that's not going to really happen because everyone's catching limits of fish, and they're, you know, 1.5 pound to 3.5 pound fish, and the guys that catch the 2.5 to almost 5-pounders is obviously going to win. You know what's going to happen? We're going to get down to the very end of this affair, and somebody's going to win it by a 1/2 pound, just as sure as the world.
$200,000 first prize for that person who wins. Of course, the pros today are trying to shoot for the final 5 who get to fish that final day. But at the end of today, we will have our non-boater champion. The non-boaters are doing great here, I might add as well. They're catching great limits of fish, and that non-boater champion is going to win $40,000.
Can you believe that? Isn't that exciting? Man.
There's one. Brandon Cook strikes here. He's got his eyes on that 40 grand, Jerry.
And I'll bet you he did not think he'd be the first one to put a fish in the boat this morning. Or maybe he did, my gosh. You know, he's just cocky enough, Brandon is, that he can become a pretty tough little fisherman.
He was ready to go this morning at the boat dock.
That's the way it started off.
Both these guys are throwing plastic worms in those big openings out in the grass.
Put the aerator switch on.
Yes, sir.
There's been a select group of non-boaters who've been with us at just about every event this year, and Brandon's one of them. He's kept up a heavy fishing schedule and done well with his schoolwork, too.
Well, last year I took English, history. And I had A's, B's, and C's in every class.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Evinrude Intruder 150 with fit fuel injection. And by Citgo. Citgo says go.
Another one. Whoa, jeez. These things are just, that thing came 3 feet out of the air.
Got some locals in this tournament, some Minnesota folks, and there's a lot of favorites, but amongst the pros today, the big favorite may be this fella right here, Jim Moyna, who with the help of his partner, you see there, Steve Freeman, is putting his first fish in the boat.
Good job. Good job.
Fabulous. Yeah, that's a nice fish. 2-pound fish. 2 casts in a row, 2 bites.
You say them baits don't come out till July, huh?
Yeah. Watch your feet there.
Jim's throwing a crankbait here, and everything they're doing has something to do with the grass that's pretty thick in some places. And the secret is to find the break lines in the holes in that grass and get a crankbait or a worm or even a jig down into those openings.
Okay. Let's get it on. 3 casts in a row. Can we do it?
I hope you can.
3 casts in a row. Come on. When I first found this spot, it must have been about 10 days ago, I caught 10 in a row here, and then decided, hey, might as well move on. Boy, that first one was bigger than that last one. Come on, girls. Well, I've known about this spot for a long time, but I've never caught fish here. Never caught them here. But I always thought to myself, man, this is just, it's too ideal. There should be some fish here someday. So I'm just in the course of practicing for this tournament, I said to myself, well, better check that out. And that's when I caught those 10 fish in a row. Boom, 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 every cast.
Familiar figure right there. That is Mark Davis from Mount Ida, Arkansas. His partner back in the back of the boat there, Al Little. We've seen Al, of course, in action back in David Young's boat at Kentucky Lake, and another good showing for the man from North Carolina, I believe he is.
Smallmouth is biting. Trying to get a fish to bite this spook. I had a good one bite it there. He didn't get it. This only works for about an hour in the morning. Then once the sun gets on the water, it's really over with. I chose this area right here because it's the east bank, and it does have some shade on it early in the morning. I'm just throwing a spook, and there's a lot of cabbage grass, this scattered cabbage in here. And I'm trying to get those largemouth to come up out of that cabbage and bite this spook.
There we go. There's the fish. Swimming at the boat now. Good fish. Oh, nice fish. Nice fish. Just get in the net now. Way to go, Steve.
Good job. Good job.
Tommy, I think you're going to notice that there's a lot of extra spectators, a lot of press around, and a lot of them are following Jim here. And I guess it's because he's from Minnesota. He's got a lot of followers in that area.
2-pounder, a lot of the local change on that one.
A lot of the local people are really interested in seeing how Jim's doing.
It's amazing that they can gain such a following in a 3-month bass fishing season up here.
I'm trying to represent my fellow competitors. Is what I'm trying, trying to show the nation that, hey, Minnesota's got some good bass fishermen. We may only be able to fish June, July, August, September, but during those months, we know how to catch them here. Now, when I run down south, that's a little different. I got a lot to learn down there, but up here, I idea what to do most of the time.
Welcome back to Lake Minnetonka near Minneapolis, Minnesota. You're watching the Forest Wood Open. $200,000 goes to the first prize winner here, a $1 million purse. That's a lot of dough.
And what a crowd we've got around Bernie Schultz there. Wouldn't you know it, a big lake like this, and Bernie and Craig Daniels are fishing. Well, at one point here, I think you could have jumped from Bernie's boat over into Craig's boat. They were fishing that close. But they're both right on this little weed line right here. And of course, Todd Lee's in the back of Bernie's boat. And Mark Seymour is in Craig Daniels' boat.
Now, can he walk over the other guy's boat if he gets a fish that kind of leads him around there? That's probably not legal, is it?
Probably not legal. But I think you will. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
They could do it.
Bernie could just slip right over there and get it. And then there's other boats on the outer perimeter there that are not fishing. They're out watching. There you can see right there. They're getting a real good lesson in where these bass live on probably on their own lake.
Well, looks like Craig Daniels strikes there, and I tell you what, it's a beautiful, beautiful weekend here on Lake Minnetonka. So these guys are going to have company whether they like it or not.
Yeah, and isn't it something? We've got a 2-for-1 going on right here. Two of our competitors right in the middle of one frame practically. I do want to remind everybody now that we're covering just 5 boats. There's 5 other boats out there that we don't know what they're up to. They're probably up to no good, Tommy.
Well, now we don't know that. We don't know that. Mark Seymour in the back there. He and Todd Lee probably trying to figure out the finer points of this kind of fishing.
Get him back.
And one more word about the spectators too, Tommy, is again, there's a lot of them on this lake, but boy, they sure are cordial and stay out of the way.
You're on top of the grass right there, just not too far. The hole is about 6-7 foot deep, but we're not in the hole right now. We're just sitting on the edge, just throwing up into the grass.
I guess stuff you learn on Lake of the Ozarks will work all the way up here in Minnesota, won't it, Jerry?
It seems to. Dion, you know, has always done pretty well. Dion and his dad Guido have always done real good on this lake. But I think it's real interesting that when you start talking to any one of these guys about their methods of fishing, it will immediately get into the conversation of this grass. And these are, you know, these are glacier lakes. They don't have creek channels and river bends in them like a lot of lakes in the south.
That ain't the only size left.
So these guys have to figure out the grass and figure out again, the break lines of the grass and the different holes, and they fish it just like you're fishing the contour of a creek channel.
I think I just might have a chance if I keep going like I am. If I can get 3 more, I think I'll do pretty good.
I've tried to pull in here every day and catch me a few out of them and leave them, but you never know when enough's enough, you know, on a pond like this, because this is a great lake. And, you know, if they would have told me that I would have been in 2nd place with 29 pounds going into this thing, I'd have laughed at them. I figured it'd take 29 pounds to make the top 10, you know, and it's just a whale of a fishery. But these fish are kind of in limbo. They're not, they've spawned, and they're not out here on the outside edge yet, and they're not on the inside edge real good, and this is kind of a little transition spot here for them. It's a big bare spot in the grass, and the only thing that creates those bare spots in the grass is rock, and that's just a little old rocky hole there is what that is. And
Tommy, did you knock something over just
I don't know what that was. That was my soft drink, I think. Dion's got something going now here. I tell you what, I don't know if he can smile any bigger than Brandon did when he caught his first fish there.
thank you.
Dion's finally getting off the snide here and getting with the program.
Well, that's a start.
Hey, and I want you to notice that every one of these guys have got a buoy out in the water around them. The second they catch a fish or find an area, they want to mark it immediately.
Again, think my lizard had bad breath or something. It's gonna make old my sidekick back there give me one of his. Get the net.
Bernie Schultz from Gainesville, Florida, and he is just racking them up here. He's doing really well on this.
Thanks, Todd.
Perfect for him. Little spot, I guess, Jerry.
Yeah, I know Todd's a little frustrated back there. Can't figure out exactly what he's doing. Bernie's in about, probably, I bet he's in about 10 or 11 foot of water. And again, fishing in one of those little holes.
Slow but sure, we're getting there.
Hey, you know, the boats don't seem to be bothering anybody.
No, absolutely not. They're just fishing right on through it.
I think the fish pay no attention to that. Sometimes the fishermen do, though.
Hey, Todd, don't worry about it. If you don't get them here, I got another spot. I guarantee you'll get 5. This is a real tough bite right now.
No problem.
And I got a lot more confidence in the spot than you do.
I understand.
But my other place is really easy.
I know that.
You're going to like it.
I've got confidence in this too, Bernie.
Okay. The other place is a lot easier. It's just they're smaller fish.
Okay.
We heard Todd Lee ask Bernie just a minute ago when he caught that fish. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm not doing. I'm just bouncing it right off the bottom." So it's a feel thing, I guess, Jerry. It's hard to get the feel for it.
Right, and I actually think that Todd is trying too hard. He's moving his lure too much, trying to make it do some things.
Really
and Bernie's got the touch and is being very patient.
Thanks.
Well, the fishermen on Minnetonka today, they can expect to catch smallmouth bass, walleye. They'll catch some muskie, yellow perch, even northern pike. And no matter how much they love that pike today, only the black bass are acceptable.
Can I color him like a bass?
No, he's in the weeds.
This is the most lucrative bass fishing tournament ever. We are at mid-morning, and Steve Freeman is finally getting with the program. You're watching the Walmart FLW Tour.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
2 fish. 2 at once. 2. Nice one. Woo. Nice. Wow. 1 cast, he's got 2 fish. Whew.
First time I've ever done that.
Well, today's a good day to do that.
Too.
Hey, Tommy, doubles are getting to be old hat around here for us, aren't they?
We saw him at Kentucky Lake, and everybody was knocked out. See, it's going to be harder and harder to impress folks, you know, with each successive show.
You know what, though?
15-inch, so
when you're throwing a crankbait, you got a very good chance of catching a double, because there can be 2 and 3 bass just running at that lure and fighting it. And I think when a bass gets a hold of it, at times it makes the other bass even fight it more. And so it's not a real surprise that you catch a double.
Yeah, what I'm surprised is these guys don't let them run around with that crankbait in their mouth a little longer, you know, pick up some company.
I'd like to do that right about now. I couldn't believe that. See, I've only had that happen once to me.
I think it was Teddy Wynn caught 2 in the Kentucky and Barkley. He had 2 good fish on. Caught them at the same time.
Got pretty stretchy line. So by the time all that shaking gets to the lure, it's not coming off the bottom. It's just shaking it right in one spot. And I think that's the key. We're about 11 foot of water right here, and the fish are dead on the bottom. On the top of the grass, you can see the grass right there. It's about 5 feet under the surface. And the whole key to this place is there's a hollow spot under the grass. It's like real dense around here. And when it punches through, you're in a cavern almost, like a hollow place. And that's why they're here.
This only little stretching here where it's just hollow underneath.
The only place I could get them, there may be others, but we ain't gonna be looking for them.
Right.
Beautiful clear water here at Minnetonka. It's not hard to see that grass, is it?
Right, and just like Bernie said, it's about 4 foot deep. Now remember, that doesn't mean that he's if you looked at his depth finder right now, it'd probably say 4 foot.
Well, he's surprised.
But that just is picking up the very top of that grass. Those holes that he's in is much deeper than that, twice that deep, even 3 times that deep.
I got I'd say about 10.5 pounds.
maybe 10 3/4 pounds, just guessing.
Bernie Schultz in the top 10 once again. You saw him in the top 10 and the top 5 there at Lake Okeechobee. And Bernie, you're off to a good start this morning. Do you feel good about making that final cut?
With about another pound of fish, Tommy, I do. I'm real close right now. I sure would like to have about 13 pounds.
I understand that just now you're getting to your really, really good fishing spot.
Well, this is kind of a number spot. The place I started this morning is bigger fish, and I got blown off the spot, and they kind of quit biting. And now I'm over in a place where there's a lot more fish in this area, but they tend to run smaller.
Are you flipping primarily, Bernie?
Yeah, Jerry, I'm in about 10 to 12 feet of water, and I'm flipping the milfoil, and there's like a matted layer that comes, you know, it kind of runs the perimeter of the shoreline of the whole lake, it seems like, and I'm on the edge of that where it falls off into deeper water. Usually as this grass grows towards the surface, it gets thicker. So if you can punch through that thick area of grass, a lot of times that hollowed out area underneath it will hold a lot of fish.
So how heavy of a weight are you fishing with?
I'm using a 5/16 in the calm areas, and when I'm getting a lot of wind, I'll go up to as much as a ½ ounce.
Todd Lee, let me ask you a question here. You just got your first fish now. You're not in any way getting down yet. You know there's still plenty of time left in the day, right?
I tell you what, there was a swing and a miss right there, Tommy. I hadn't got bit much this morning, and Bernie's had me all around fish. I just haven't done a good job of putting them in the boat, but it's an 8-hour day, and we're not halfway through it yet, so I'll keep fishing as hard as I can and see what happens by the end of the day.
Generally, this has been a great tournament for the non-boaters, though, right? The conditions have been such that you've really gotten to do a lot of good quality fishing, right?
That's exactly right, Tommy. When you're fishing this grass like this, there's so many holes, and even though we're fishing with the best fishermen in the world, they can't fish all this grass, and I've got plenty of water to fish, and amateurs just love coming to a lake like this. It's got tons of grass in it.
Had a couple of proven performers out here on the Walmart FLW Tour. Bernie Schultz, who's made the top 10 earlier this year at Okeechobee, and Todd Lee, our champion, our overall no-boater champion from the year 1996.
Bernie's really a very intelligent fisherman, you know, as you well know. And I think he's in an incredible position of, man, here early in the morning, and he's basically experimenting a little bit. You know, fishing for a couple of $100,000, and he has enough fish already that he can go looking around and trying to find some new stuff. Boy, he is in a good spot. And
interesting that you asked him what he felt it looked like underwater, because Bernie, as you know, is one of the top wildlife fishing artists in the country. He's very well known. He was an art major in school and still does commercial wildlife and underwater art on a regular basis. So he's probably got a good sense of visualization of it.
God dang.
Good catch. Good catch. There's one. Nice fish. Nice fish.
Good fish.
Good
Real
fish.
good fish. Good job. Good job.
Yes.
Jim Moyna is pleasing the home folks today. I tell you what, his rooters have something to root for.
And they're going to take these fish to the mall and weigh them. You know, I heard Forrest Wood say that the fish would be excited about that because they had never seen the mall before.
You and me either.
It's the biggest one of the day there.
Shoot, yeah.
3-pound fish. There's 4. All right, thanks, Steve. Good net, man.
There you go.
It's going. A lot of floating weeds in there, just making it hard to get the bait through. Fish.
You on the weed?
No, he's not in the weeds. Just keep her up out of that milfoil. I think it's another nice one. Or is that a pike?
No.
Oh, no. Good bass.
Good. Okay, come on up. Oh, what's the other one?
Yeah, wait till she comes up on top. There we go.
Good job. Good job.
All right.
There you go. I know
Nice
you have your limit.
Nice 2-pound fish. there's a limit. 901 I got him. Watch. I thought it was going to be a little bigger, the way it was kind of bowling down like that.
Yeah, he had it nose stuck straight down.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Fit Fuel Injection, the best of all worlds. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Hibden from Missouri. He's got 2 fish in the boat, as does his no-boater partner, Brandon Cook from Pangburn, Arkansas.
And look, Tommy, they're fishing right out in front of your home.
The cabin, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We love the cabin.
You've done a good job on the lawn there.
Well, it takes a little time, but it's worth it, I think.
Hey, let me explain real quickly what the difference in the pro and the am, or the boater and non-boater is here. It's pretty obvious which is which. But I think everyone needs to know that the pro in the front of the boat has complete control over that boat. He says where they go, when they go. The guy in the back of the boat is just kind of tagging along and trying to, pick out any little area he might fish that the pro hasn't fished. Brandon's doing an awful good job of it here, by the way, incidentally. But that's the difference between the non-boater and the boater.
That definitely helped me out right there. I took it and I dipped it in chartreuse dye. I caught that fish on this Zoom dead ringer worm.
The leader through the first 2 days of our tournament here, and got to be the local favorite here in the Twin Cities, is Jim Moyna. We're talking to Jim right now, and a fairly good start to your morning. Are you satisfied at this point?
Yeah, it's always good to have a limit in the boat by 9 o'clock. And, they're not real big, but we got a lot of the day left to work on that problem.
What would you say? You have 10 pounds right now, Jim?
Yeah, I'd put it right about there. Looking like about 10 pounds.
What do you think it's going to take to make it to the final 5?
If I don't bring at least 13 pounds in, I'm going to be real nervous. Let's put it that way.
What style of fishing are you doing?
Well, four of my fish have come on this a Rapala Risto Wrap. It's a brand new crankbait that Rapala is going to have out on the shelves in July, but it's not quite out yet. But I was fortunate enough to get my hands on a few, and the fish seem to be hitting them pretty good the last week.
How are you fishing the grass? I know everything pertains to grass fishing, doesn't it?
Yeah, fish in this lake, they live up in this milfoil, and for the most part, sometimes they get on the outer lips and that. But I'm just throwing this crankbait out over the tops, and it's just kind of ripping through the tippy tops of the milfoil, and that just seems to trigger them.
And now, Steve Freeman, you were doing a little showing off this morning. Tell us about that personal double you had there.
I guess pure luck, I guess.
Steve, did they tell you that up in Minnesota that's against the rules?
As long as they're in the live well, I guess it's all right.
I guess so. We'll let it go.
We'll let them come on in. Tell us about your experience so far with the FLW Tour, and especially how it's been for you to come up all the way to Minnetonka here and try to learn a little bit different style of fishing.
Well, I fished the local tournament on Kentucky and Barkley this year and last year too. Fished down there, both of them never weighed in a fish, either one of them. So I was a little disappointed on that. We started catching some fish about Tuesday. I fished with Jerry Bolton, Paducah. And ever since then, we've been doing all right. I've enjoyed it since then.
What do you think about all those spectators, all those boats out there with you on the water? Is that bothering you in any way?
No, hadn't yet.
Well, we'll keep watching you guys. Jim Moyna and Steve Freeman off to a great start this morning. Jim with his limit. Do you think that's a pretty good lead, Jerry? You think that's vulnerable at this point?
I just think that Jim has an excellent chance of making the top 5.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
And he's got to be the favorite.
You got it? Yes, sir. What can I do to help you?
to get under him before you pull it over. Now do it. Sure looked big in that coming out, didn't it?
A lot of work for that little feller.
And shake it in one spot. Don't pull it through. You don't want to fish this thing horizontally at all. You want to fish it vertically.
Okay.
Okay? Shake it in one spot, and he'll pick it up.
Todd Lee there still with only one fish. He's obviously getting a little frustrated, as would we all be, but he's with a good teacher. Bernie's going to give him plenty of advice and help there.
There he is.
This bait's all I've ever seen.
You just got to shake the bait and leave it in one spot. It's the whole key. Me having 15 whatever I had yesterday, that's about as good as I can do. I figure, you know, it. Little guy. Well, I think kill measure. Little old chubby dude. My little enforcer lizard eat him. Let me do that measuring board. Oh yeah, biggin'. 12 1/4.
Hey.
Wow. Burst of energy.
Lean him on. Lean him on.
Right.
Good job. Good job.
Right.
Good fish.
That's a good fish there. Good 3-pound fish.
Good. Good fish.
Well, I got a call now.
Oh, you're in a serious heap of culling too. You got a couple of close ones in there.
It's kind of a wide open bass tournament, really. You pretty much have to fish to win the thing from the day one. You know, it's 2 days or you're out. So, you know, you got to catch them pretty good them first 2 days. Well, then you got 1 day and you're out. So it's one of them deals that you kind of got to, you know, fish wide open from the word go.
Ho, 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 slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. He caught it. Good. Get the net.
Well, it's been tough going today for Mark Davis, Dr. Al Little, but could it be that things are looking up?
Oh, it's a big gum smallmouth.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's a smallmouth.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Big smallmouth. Nice smallmouth.
I hadn't seen a smallmouth the whole week.
Dion Hibden and Brandon Cook. Dion with a fish on, and have they changed locations? It looks like they may have.
Changed locations, and Dion's now fishing with a crankbait. So maybe he's got something going here. Hey, Tommy, I thought that was a terrific smallmouth.
Ooh. Well, through 2 years on the FLW Tour, Dion Hibden has been with us through thick and thin. And Dion, we kind of got a little nice thick time going here, but you got your 5 fish. Are you ready to catch some big ones now and bring back enough to get into the final 5?
I've been ready to catch them big ones all day long.
Well, what do you think is going to be the key to that? What do you have to do?
I'm not sure. I just caught a pretty good one and just kind of had to reposition myself on one of my spots that I fish, and I caught 2 and 2 casts, and we got to find that little school back. But there just not many fish out here on these deeper spots, and you just kind of got to fish around till you find them. Hold on, I've got one.
Oh, he's got one.
There, we're bringing that boy luck.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Sounds like a good one. Not too bad. Oh. Yeah, I think so. I'm fishing a teamed Iowa crankbait. It's a great big bait, but I think the whole key to it, it's a little bit more buoyant than most crankbaits. It just floats up out of that grass a little bit easier.
Talk to us a little bit more about the buoyancy of that bait and why it becomes important in that grass that you're fishing.
Well, you throw the thing out there, and these fish are tighter in the grass than what they would normally be. Instead of being on the edge of the grass, they're right in it. And what's taking place is your cast is messed up a lot in the grass. By having a little bit more buoyant bait, what takes place is it floats out of the grass a little bit better, and it gives me a few more efficient casts through the day.
We'll get back to them a little bit later. Dion Hibden, now he's got his limit, Dion, so he's ready to fish for that big one now. He's in good shape right now. And Brandon Cook still with 3 fish.
Can't be a bass. It is. Come on, Biggin. Get in here, baby. Get in here, baby. Get in here. You ready? There she is. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Man, how about that, boys?
Big fish, too.
Come on, baby. We got him, Bernie. We got him.
Woo! All right. Way to go, man. Way to go.
All right.
That'll make the difference right there. That'll make the difference right there. All right. Buddy, we're in now.
That's the toad right there.
We're in now.
We're guessing what's happened in the last 5 minutes. You saw it has qualified Dion Hibden and Bernie Schultz for next week's finals. But after 3 quick fish to start the day off, young Brandon Cook, well, his plans seem to have hit the wall a little bit. His shot for the no-boater championship is looking doubtful at this point. We're going to find out, though, as soon as they all get back to the mall. Brandon is from Pangburn, Arkansas, the only man who has to have a note from Charlie Evans so he can get out of school to come and fish these tournaments here. So that's quite remarkable. Just finished his junior year at Pangburn High School in Pangburn, Arkansas. And he's got to have 5 pounds, 7 ounces in order to stay in this thing. There's 1 fish. Not going to do it. 2 fish looking for 5, 7, 3 pounds, 7 ounces, thereabouts. 3 fish for Brandon Cook. It's got to be 5, 7. Oh, let's see what it is. 5-3, 5-3. Well, Brandon, tell you what, let's give him a big hand, first of all. Brandon, you've been one of the guys who has been here tournament in and tournament out on the FLW Tour, faithfully coming here, even though you're still in high school. You've really made the effort, and this time I think you've got to be happy with the result.
Yeah, I was really happy with myself to be able to get in the top 10, and then I made the top 5. I was really worried today after I only had 3 fish. I just knew I was just going to get 6th or something. I'm really proud that I made it.
All right. Well, now, I would say with the $6,000 fifth-grade prize, you're going to probably have the most walking money of anybody hanging around Pangburn High School. Do you have any particular plans for that money?
I'm probably going to put it in the bank and use it for the college fund.
Good luck to you, Brandon Cook. Another big hand for Brandon Cook. Brandon, I tell you what. All right, Steve Freeman is our leader right now. Coming up next, Wesley Whitehead, and to Wesley, it's 2 pounds, 15 ounces. 2 pounds, 15 ounces is what Wesley's got to have to stay in this thing. Wesley's only weighed in 1 fish now. So however many fish it takes to make 2 pounds and 15 ounces is what Wesley, not bad. Wesley from Zebulon, North Carolina. Looking for 2 pounds and 15 ounces. He's weighed in 1 fish only. With this one, he could take over the lead, stay in the game. 3 pounds, 14 ounces. Wesley, have a seat. You're still in this thing. Steve Freeman's got to have 1 pound, 1 ounce, Steve. There they are, Steve Freeman's fan club right here. He didn't even know they were going to be here today, and they showed up. They didn't have to be asked twice to come to the Mall of America, I heard. They came right on up when they heard where it was at. Steve Freeman has weighed in 3 fish already, but he needs 1 pound, 1 ounce. That ought to do it. We think that'll do it. 3 pounds even. Steve Freeman, your new leader. Steve, take a seat. Steve Freeman, your leader, with 8 pounds, 6 ounces, which means to Wesley Whitehead, 2 pounds, 1 ounce to stay in this thing. 2 pounds, 1 ounce, and Wesley has weighed in already only 2 fish. Only 2 fish for Wesley Whitehead. Some kind of big in that sack, I think. Is it 2 pounds and 1 ounce worth? All right, there we go. Get a good look at that guy. Could be a winner. Looks like 311, 3 pounds, 11 ounces. Wesley is still in it. That's 3 fish for Wesley Whitehead. 4 fish have been weighed in now by Steve Freeman. Steve's got to come up with 1 more fish that weighs 1 pound, 12 ounces. Steve, can you do it for us? Steve can't do it. Bring him up here. We know who the champ is. We know who the champ is. We just know that he's only weighed in 4 fish, so let's see if he's got 1 more to show us, Wesley. That's it. We'll bring him on up here. A big hand. $40,000 winner, Wesley Whitehead. And Wesley, can you speak now?
Today, I got paired with Kevin Worth, and we're out there fishing, and he has 2 fish in the boat already. And he says, make a cast over there at such and such angle. So I cast over there. I pulled it about a yard, and there's a great big one on it. They just yanked the rod out of my hand. And anyhow, we worked the place over, and I caught 2 more keepers. Caught 1 more keeper, 1 more nice fish. And we fished the rest of the day, and we went to 1 spot with 30 minutes left, and I pulled in that last fish, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. And I thought I might have a chance for that last one.
It's just a great, great day for you. You are living the dream that everybody who's ever thought about getting in a tournament has thought about. To get in, maybe sort of get your feet wet in tournament fishing, fish on the non-boater side, and then win the biggest tournament ever in the history of fishing, $40,000. How does it feel to be that guy?
It feels great.
Well, congratulations to Wesley Whitehead. He is our champion. But Steve Freeman's double is a Fujifilm flashback for today.
1 cast, you got 1 cast, you got 1 cast.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices. Always. By Ranger Boats. Still building legends one at a time. By Johnson Fast Strike 150 with fixed fuel injection. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
From Orono, Minnesota, please welcome Craig Whittlin. Come on up, Craig. All right, Craig, have you got the limit in there?
Yeah, I got a limit.
All right, let's set them on. Let's see what they weigh. 5 fish, all 5 of these alive, and the weight for Craig Whittlin, 14 pounds, 1 ounce, 14.1.
I might just do her down that one little area.
You're fishing just one little area, not just one spot, but one area.
Well, I'm fishing several spots, but this one area's produced all the big fish, so I think I'm going to stay there tomorrow, and if I don't catch one, I'll go home with 30,000 anyway.
Bernie Schultz. And Bernie has got a limit, is that right? A 5-batch limit for Bernie Schultz. 5 fish all alive in the weight. 13 pounds, 13 ounces. 13 for Bernie Schultz. All right, have you got the limit in there, Dion?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's set them on there and weigh them. Watch this, Jerry Ryan. You're the man on the bubble. Dion Hibden, 5 fish in the weight. 13 pounds, 12 ounces. 13-12. Ted Capra, you have 12 pounds and 1 ounce. You're currently in the top 5, but we got one more guy yet to weigh in. How do you feel? A little nervous?
That guy's been a thorn in my side since he started fishing.
The guy to beat now, a local favorite, Ted Capra's thorn in the side. He's welcome from Hopkins, Minnesota, Jim Mona. Come on up, Jim. Jim, 12 pounds and 1 ounce. Ted Capra is currently in 5th. Have you got enough to knock him out of there?
I want to say yes. I think I do, but I've been wrong before.
What do you think? If you set them up there, what are they going to weigh?
13.
13 pounds. Let's set them up there and let's see. 5 fish for Jim Mona. 5 fish, all 5 alive in the weight. 13 pounds and 9 ounces. 13.9 for Jim Mona.
You fished hard. That's all you can say, and you're fishing hard right down to the very last second. You can't do no more than that. If you'd have sat down and drank pop and ate candy bars all day, I'd have said you don't deserve to do good, but you'll do good someday because you have a lot of desire, and that's what it takes.
But the days it really works, the wind pushes you the right direction, the fisherman cuts you off, you take a left and go this way and catch a 6-pounder. You get hung up and go over there and you get your bait loose and you see a little shot behind a tree there and you throw over there and catch a 4-pounder. On those days, when you're in the flow, there's nothing that can get in your way.